Good afternoon. This is Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you today with Tuesday Talks. As we had planned, that we are going to have topics regarding what it is for the month, and we're towards the last week of the month, and what we're going to be talking about is it's osteoporosis month. And what we put together is what is it that we could relate to our senior loved ones. So what means of comfort and activities can our senior loved ones participate in with this disease? I don't know if everybody knows what osteoporosis is. It's a debilitation of the bones of your skeletal structure, and creating awareness of this disease process is important, because if it's early onset of osteoporosis, sometimes medications or interventions can be helped. But as they progress along, it could get worse and could lead into very debilitating pain and suffering, especially for our senior loved ones. And then, believe it or not, it says, do you know that hundreds of millions of people in the world suffer from osteoporosis and low bone density? In fact, approximately 10 million Americans have osteoporosis, and more than 44 million have low bone density, placing them at increased risk of osteoporosis. What exactly is osteoporosis, as I had mentioned? And how can we prevent it? Is there any remedy for people suffering from this disease? Let's get into the details. You know, I do a lot of research when it comes to a lot of these topics and our Tuesday talks. So I usually bring things back from history and the history of what we're recognizing for the month, for the week, whatever that it may be. And, you know, here, believe it or not, osteoporosis is a bone characterized in brittle weakness of the bones. It is often called a silent disease. Now, isn't that unusual? It's silent disease because it's something that, unfortunately, unless you do get testings, it's not recognizable for a lot of people until after you break a bone. That I find very important and, very interesting as well. So we go back we peak at our growth of a bone structure is usually between the ages of 25 and 30. We're born, we grow not only our outer self, but we also grow our skeletal self. And you see that a lot of growth spurts, sometimes in high school. You see that amongst athletes, especially ones that play sports like basketball, where height is really definitely an advantage. So the osteoporosis and the growth of one could easily be recognized when there is such growth and where there could be deficiencies because of the growth of the bones itself. But they lose after 40 years old. We lose masses of our bone structure, and it's mostly in women that lose their bone structure. About 1.5% to 2% of their bone density per year, it leads to osteoporosis. So again, if there is family history of osteoporosis, all the more reason you should check yourself out. If a lot of osteoarthritis or whatever that a lot of the elder population that your senior loved ones might have, it's a good idea to check yourself out just the same, and making sure that you take this testing, and so this way you could be more in a preventative stage. What is the main cause of osteoporosis in women? For women, the main cause of osteoporosis in bone loss due to drop in body's estrogen levels. So after menopause, it does trigger that the estrogen loss in women can lead to osteoporosis and bone loss. What are some of the early warning signs of osteoporosis? The most common early signs of osteoporosis is receding gums, decreased grip strength, cramps, bone pain, fractures, multiple fractures, not from just even falling, just from movement, and loss of height or brittle fingernails. Now, loss of height is because we become, as we get older, we become more hunched over, and then some gentlemen that are very tall, as they get older, they become hunched over as well. As well as women. But brittle fingernails is very, very interesting. I know my doctor prescribed me to use a biotin. So it does not only help hair growth, but it also helps the strengthening of the nails. So again, if that's something that you're experiencing, it's something that should be looked upon quite quickly as well. What does osteoporosis pain feel like? You may experience severe back pain that gets worse when you are standing or walking. Lying down gives some sense of relief, but anything that involves twisting or bending your body will be greatly painful. So again, if that's something you're experiencing, it's something that you should check out as well. The 5 serious facts about osteoporosis you need to know. Men are ahead. Men have a 10-year head start over women in terms of their bone health. So they are much more healthy in their bone health. Ethnicity plays a role. Osteoporosis occurs mostly in Caucasian and Asian women. 3, quitting smoking can help. 4, it costs a lot. The osteoporosis medication and hospitalization costs sums up to $19 billion plus annually. 5, sneezing can be serious. Didn't know that. People with osteoporosis can break a bone from simple actions like sneezing. It's a head jerk, something that maybe would hurt your neck or your back itself. So another thing is, why is National Osteoporosis Month important? We need to have this be awareness of it so we can improve the quality of life by preventing low bone density. It also supports people who are suffering from the disease. So having awareness of it, we can help one another. Many people work together on this, especially for the Awareness Month, is probably due to the activities of dedicated volunteers, healthcare professionals, staff, and cooperative people, and it's time to get involved. You will see this a lot with primary care physicians asking you to go for a bone density test. This is something that we should look into for our senior loved ones, orthopedic surgeons as well too. So again, we want to have those scans or those testing so you could see the limitations or how advanced stages of bone loss there is. Having healthy bones, you have a healthy lifestyle. So what can you do to actually improve that is the fact of, years ago when we were children, you drink milk, you make your bones strong. A diet is important as we grow older, but more importantly than anything else is activity. We don't want to talk about extreme activity, but activity, like I say all the time, if you don't use it, you lose it. So sitting down all the time or not moving those joints, they need to be lubricated, is important. So for our senior loved ones, it is a good idea for exercise, with a doctor's order, physical therapy, maybe join Silver Sneakers at a local gym. Today I had to go to a store, and it was in a mall, and there was a ton of walking groups. Now, the walking groups are inside where there's air conditioning, and they were all gathered together, the seniors. I thought that was really, really unique. They were safe. It was cool, especially it being hot in Florida. So some form of exercise is important. Chair yoga is a good way of stretching and moving too, if you don't want to do too much weight, bearing, or balance is an issue. So how do we observe National Osteoporosis Month is maybe do a fundraiser. One of the doctors that I know very well, orthopedic surgeon, he has a radio talk locally on a local channel, and I named it for him. It's No Bones About It. And, you know, if we make people aware of what's out there and what services and resources, and maybe doing some fundraising for it, maybe a walk, a small walk. You know, there's walks to remember for Alzheimer's this month. So why not do something for osteoporosis as well too? Maybe you could start a program at your local YMCA. 2, contribute to the cause by advocating and making others aware of what osteoporosis is important. Maybe doing a support group would be something great if you're experiencing osteoporosis or the early onset, or want to be in a preventative mode. What about starting a support group for others? Maybe at senior centers, maybe even at senior living communities, is to support that. So when others are with other folks of their age or likeness of experiences, they're now realizing they're not alone. So having a support group is wonderful. And nothing better than sharing your story. So that's why a support group is great. If you have a story and how you overcome a lot of deficit in your bone density, and talking to others and make them aware of it, makes them aware of their own conditions as well. So with it being the end of June, and we're acknowledging osteoporosis for the whole month of June, it should not be only limited to June. It should be not limited, but should be recognized all year long. So as always, I really appreciate the topics that you sometimes send me via email or text. If you have any ideas by certain, go to my website. It is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will find a whole host of my resources, options, various options for senior living. Also my testimonials, my demographics, and what's really important is that there's a library. So if something is, you know, wrecking your brain and you want to have a topic, I'm sure that we spoke about it. So there's a whole library of all these Tuesday talks. Or as always, write to me if something that you would like to discuss. So until next week, we will be recognizing the month of July, and summer is here. It's hot. So there's a lot of great topics that we are going to be talking about. But like I said, if you have something, please give me a ring or send me an email or a text, and I'll look into investigating and educating myself on it so we could do a talk. Thank you for viewing Tuesday Talks with Linda McKenna of Golden Rule Senior Placement Services. Have yourself a blessed week. Don't forget, use it so you don't lose it. Bye-bye now.